committee meeting. All right, do a quick roll call, please.
Yes. Director Sailors.
Present.
Director Costa.
Present.
Director Clark is absent at this
All right.
moment.
Thank you, and we have a quorum. Now is the public opportunity to discuss matters of public interest with the committee's scope, including items on or not on the agenda. Do we have any speakers? None. All right,
No speakers.
then let's jump into the consent agenda. Summary of action minutes. You had a chance. All right, we have a motion and a second.
All right, Director Sailors. Director Costa.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. So we have two presentations tonight. The first one is the revised administration policy 2.016.04, donated leave. And we have our HR manager, Maddox.
Good evening, directors.
Good evening.
Chief Bailey. Melissa Maddox, the HR manager for Metro Fire. And tonight I have two policies, almost identical. It's the donated leave policies, one for represented employees and one for unrepresented employees. As you can see, they're just minor changes and edits in these. As far as with the contract changes last year, we realized that the SRP, or I'm sorry, the MMP contributions need to be raised from 8 to 10 because it's for all the other contracts. It's about half of what your monthly accrual would be the minimum donation rate. You can donate as much as you want. It's just that if you're going to donate to the bank and be eligible to use the bank, you have to donate that minimum amount. So for like day staff, it's 8 hours. MMPs, it's 10 hours, and then suppression, it's 12 hours. So it's half of what we would accrue in a month. So, and then the rest of the changes was just some cleanup here and there, getting the single rule name out of there, changing it to MMP. Also including in there is there's a 1.4 conversion rate for when a suppression personnel go on to days and vice versa, because they're a 56-hour-a-week person going to a 40-hour-a-week person. And the mindset was that we did the same thing for the MMPs because they're on a 48-hour-a-week schedule. After some discussion and some legal advice, we realized they're still really considered a 40-hour-a-week person. The 8 hours is overtime. So there was no need to do the conversion. So, which is actually a lot easier on the administrative side and less confusing for the employees, because when they go back and forth, there would be conversions. And we do have some MMPs that come in on days for the academies, light duty, that kind of thing. So that actually made it a lot easier. So the rest are just, cleanup changes here and there. But I did want to take this time to report out on what I feel is the success of this program. The donated leave so far, as of right now, the unrepresented bank has 2,916 hours in it. And the represented bank has 9,454 hours in it. If the banks ever get too full, we can, we can stop the donations and, you just be eligible. We're not going to let it keep growing exponentially. So there's plenty of hours in there for employees to use. To date, we've had 20 employees utilize the program, equaling 7,993 hours used. And I look at those hours like those could have possibly been hours where employees might have had to go unpaid because it wasn't a work-related injury. And maybe they were a new employee and they didn't have enough accruals saved, all kinds of different reasons. So I think that's really successful. 20 employees doesn't sound like that many, but these were employees that were out on a long-term injury and would have had no income. So we, HR and 522 have been working together a lot to get the word out and because the donation time is once a year in every January. And, we've been working really hard to get the word out. Even if you have 4,000 hours, donate to the bank. It's just the right thing to do. It's only, it's only 12 hours of vacation, or and you can choose vacation or sick leave. So just donate for the cause, but also you just never know. You never know when you may have to be off work for a really long time for something that's maybe not a work-related injury. It's a personal injury. You may have to care for a family member who is ill. And so I do my best to encourage people at the beginning of the year to donate. And I know 522 has been trying to get the word out at every meeting that they've had. So I hope the program continues to be successful. We try to capture when HR goes out and does the benefit orientation for our new employees and the academies, MMP and SRP, or MMP and firefighter. That is one of the things that we stress to them, that you are a new employee. This is something you really, really should consider to donate to this, just in case. You never know. So we try to capture them right out of the gate. And then some of the ones that are maybe, I have plenty of accruals, I don't need to donate to this. We say, no, please donate to it. You just never know. It's a really cheap insurance policy. So that's how we look at it. But other than that, was there any other questions that I can answer regarding the policies?
Yes, please.
Microphone, please.
Thank you. That just leads me to ask, do you guys offer long-term and short-term disability insurance for?
We have long-term disability, but we don't, the district doesn't contribute to short-term, the SSI, short-term or state disability. The district doesn't pay into that. And so I know
Does the union offer one they can buy?
they offer long-term disability as well, but not short-term.
Okay, interesting.
So you can opt out. The short-term, this is probably a whole nother meeting. The short-term disability is an employee contribution. And for instance, when I first started working here, I was kind of surprised. We don't contribute to state disability. Like, I always thought it was mandatory, but it's not. But it's because we have CalPERS. And the thought that we have really good health insurance, as far as disability payments go, that kind of thing. But the short term would only be 3 months. There's usually a waiting period for the long term, but there are certain options within the long-term disability that could shorten that 3-month window. And we try to work with employees through that. There's different options with it. But that's, to your point, Director, is I always say, well, at least have 3 months of coverage. So to get you to that long-term disability, so
Yeah.
that can kick
So
in.
that kicks in.
Yeah.
exactly. Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay, that's it. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. I do have a quick question. In the discussion item, it talks a little about additional language around clarifying the process. Do you mind walking us through that a little bit?
let's see. Which one do we want to start with? Oh, I should have brought my glasses. Let's see. So again, it hadn't been, that's okay. As long as I hold it far enough. We did remove out all the SRP language out of there, changed it to MMP, changed the just clarification on the calendar year, that when the donation part, when you can donate is in the first of the calendar year, and the donation timing, and the whole reason of having the banks is just to comply with the IRS regulations. So employees aren't taxed on the donated leave hours. But back in the day, I believe some agencies, and I think even here, employees could just donate directly to other employees. And we realize that can be taxed. It's not technically allowed under that code. So as long as you have a designated donation period and you keep it in a bank, as we're doing, that anybody can use the bank as long as they qualify, then the employees donating won't be taxed on the donated hours. So let's see here. The changes in both the represented and the unrepresented are very similar. Like I said, on page 3 of the represented employees, there we have that strike through in 5, where it's deleting the language about the conversion, the 1.4 conversion rate when they go from suppression to line or suppression to days. And that's really about it, unless there's any other edits in here that are standing out.
No,
It was
that
pretty
was perfect.
straightforward. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't think, yeah.
All right. Any
No.
other questions from the committee? Welcome. All right, so this is just information purposes only.
Yes, for information, it doesn't need to go to full board. This is, if you have any suggested edits, we'd be glad to do those, but it doesn't need to move on to full board for approval.
Perfect. All right, I don't think we have any suggested edits this time.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And Marnie, that covers both, right? Both policies. Okay,
Yes.
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 Okay, very good. All right, with that, that brings us to the end of the agenda. Our next meeting is scheduled for May 9th. All right. End of the committee. Thank you.